Have you ever looked at a massive project, like building a skyscraper or launching a new app, and just wondered, how do they keep it all on track? Well, it isn't magic. It's a very specific set of tools. Today, we're going to crack open the Professional Project Manager's Toolkit, pulling from the industry standard PMBOK guide to see exactly how the pros turn these incredibly complex goals into reality. You know, every single project, whether it's big or small, really starts with this one question. You've got a goal, you've got a team, a budget, but what you also have is this storm of uncertainty. So, how on earth do you take all that chaos and turn it into a predictable path to success? Well, the answer, of course, is you have to have the right tools for the job. See, project management isn't about guesswork. Not at all. It's a real discipline, and it's built on a foundation of proven techniques and structured methods that are designed specifically to bring order and clarity to even the most tangled up projects. All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we're going to start with building the foundation through planning. Then we'll see how to keep everybody on the same page with communication. After that, we'll look at the analysis tools you need for when things inevitably go a little sideways. And finally, we'll explore how the best teams learn and grow with improvement techniques. First step, planning. Because, let's be honest, before a single task ever gets started, every successful project begins with a rock-solid plan. This is where we figure out how to estimate the work and build the schedule that's going to guide the entire effort. So when it comes to estimating, you're looking at a fundamental trade-off. If you need a quick, kind of rough number early on, you can use analogous estimating. That's basically just looking at a similar project you did in the past and saying, it'll probably be about the same. But when accuracy is absolutely critical, you need to use bottom-up estimating. This is where you break the work down into tiny little pieces, estimate each one, and then add it all up. Sure, it's slower, but the result is way more reliable. Okay, so once you've got your estimates, you need to schedule all the work. And the gold standard for doing this is the critical path method, or CPM. It's a super powerful tool that doesn't just, list out tasks. It actually models the project's entire sequence to find the absolute minimum time it's going to take to get everything done. Now, here is what you absolutely have to know. The critical path is the longest chain of connected tasks in your whole project, and it's called critical for a reason. Any delay to a single task on this path directly pushes back your final finish date. These are the tasks with zero float, absolutely no wiggle room. As a manager, this is the sequence you watch like a hawk. But look, a perfect plan is completely useless if nobody understands it. And that brings us right to the second part of our toolkit. Communication. These are the tools that make sure your entire team is aligned and moving in the exact same direction. At its core, communication seems pretty simple, right? A sender encodes a thought into a message, they transmit it, and then a receiver decodes it. Easy. But this basic model is where so many problems start. And that's because it's missing a couple of key ingredients for making sure the message was actually understood. The solution is to add two absolutely vital steps: acknowledgement and feedback. Acknowledgement is just a simple, yep, got it. But feedback is the real game changer. This is where the receiver confirms what they understood, which closes the loop and turns what was a one-way broadcast into a true two-way conversation. Project managers also have to choose how they communicate. You've got push communication, like an email, where you're sending information to people. It's great for announcements, sure, but you can't be sure they actually read it or got it. Then you have pull communication. This is where you put information in a central place, like a company intranet, and people can go and access it when they need it. This is perfect for big audiences or for reference materials. But no matter the method, probably the most powerful communication skill of all is active listening. It's so much more than just hearing words. It's about confirming, clarifying, and even reflecting back what you heard to make sure there are zero misunderstandings. And in today's global, really diverse teams, this isn't just a nice-to-have skill, it is absolutely essential. All right, so even with the best plan in the world and perfect communication, problems are going to happen. It's inevitable. The real key is how you solve them. And that brings us to our third section, the analysis tools that help you get past the symptoms and find the real root cause of an issue. One of the best tools for this is the cause and effect diagram. A lot of people call it a fishbone diagram because, well, it looks like a fishbone. You put the problem, the effect, at the head of the fish, and then you brainstorm all the potential causes, grouping them into categories like people, process, or technology.
What you get is a complete visual map of everything that could be contributing to the problem.
Another tool, and this one is deceptively simple, is called the 5 whys. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. You state the problem, and then you just keep asking why. It forces you to peel back the layers of an issue one by one, moving from that obvious surface level symptom all the way down to the foundational problem that's really causing all the trouble.
So let's just walk through a quick example. The server crashed. Okay. Why? Well, the software overloaded it. Why? Because it received a massive spike in traffic. Why? A new marketing campaign just launched. See, by the time you get to that 5th why, you're not talking about server specs anymore. You're talking about process. And just like that, you found the root cause.
But finding the root cause is really only half the battle. Great teams don't just solve problems, they learn from them. And this brings us to our final set of tools, which are all about continuous improvement, making sure today's mistakes become tomorrow's lessons. A real cornerstone of this is the after-action review, or AAR. It's a structured debrief, and rule number 1, this is huge, is that it's about learning, not blaming. The entire goal is to analyze what happened so the next project can benefit from the experience of this one. The real power of the ASR is just how simple it is. It's built around these 4 super direct questions. By comparing what you planned to what actually happened, and then analyzing that gap, the team can identify concrete, actionable lessons. It literally transforms experience into organizational knowledge. Another really powerful improvement concept is the cost of quality. Just think of it as 2 big buckets. On one side, you've got the cost of conformance. That's the money you spend proactively to do things right, like training and inspections. And on the other side, you've got the cost of non-conformance. That's the money you spend reactively when things go wrong, everything from rework to lost business. And here's the big insight. Every single dollar you invest in prevention and appraisal on the left side saves you so much more in failure costs on the right. It's all about spending smart money up front to avoid spending disaster money later on.
Ultimately, all of these tools, for planning, for communicating, for improving, they all serve a very human purpose. As this quote highlights, even conflict, when it's managed with the right process, can become a source of creativity and better decisions. These tools, they provide the structure that allows teams to be productive and successful together.
So, from planning with the critical path to getting better with after-action reviews, we've covered some of the most essential tools in the project manager's toolkit. The real question now is, which one of these ideas are you going to take and apply to your own work? Which tool are you going to add to your own toolkit first?